Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be discussing Pythagorean theorem. So first of all, let's talk about right triangles. In a right triangle, the two sides adjacent to the right angle are known as the legs. Or you can say A and B. So this is A and this can be B or vice versa. The side opposite from the right angle is called the hypotenuse. Or C. So this would be C. Let's go ahead and highlight. We have A, B, and then we'll do yellow for C, and yeah, C is right here. So it says the two sides adjacent to the right angle. So this right here represents a right angle. When you see this in a triangle, it means it's 90 degrees or a right angle. When you say adjacent, it means across or the opposite, so that would be C. Or adjacent means touching, sorry. So adjacent would be A and B. So to look at the opposite, the side opposite from the right angle would be C. So the right angle is here, opposite is C right here. The hypotenuse is always the longest side of a right triangle. Pythagorean theorem. The Pythagorean theorem tells us how the side lengths of the right triangle are related. In any right triangle, the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides. More simply stated, we can use the formula a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So we're going to label the following triangles A, B, and C on each of the right triangles below. So remember it said that the adjacent two legs to the right angle are A and B. So adjacent would be touching, so this can be A and this can be B, which leaves the opposite of the right angle to be C. Well, this one again, the one touching the right angle is A and B. The one opposite the right angle is C. The one touching the right angle is A and B. The one opposite to the right angle is C. And lastly, the one touching the right angle is A and B. The one opposite to the right angle is C. Now we're going to do some practice problems. So we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem to find the missing side length in each right triangle. And we're going to round to the nearest tens if we have to. So we're going to use the formula a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So we have a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So if we need to find the right angle, well, we look for a 90 degree. A 90 degree would be a sharp edge like this. So would this be 90? No, that's too small. That's a cube. Would this be 90? No, that's a cube. This would be my 90 degrees, which means 3 and 4 are A and B. 3, let's just say 3 can be A. It doesn't really matter. 3 or 4, it can be A or B. It doesn't matter. So 3 squared plus 4 squared will equal c squared. So 3 squared is like saying 3 times 3, which is 9. And 4 squared is like saying 4 times 4, which is 16. So if we do 9 plus 16, we get 25. Well, we know this is 25, the square root of 25. So what is C? Well, C is like saying what times what equals 25? Well, we know 5 times 5 equals 25, so C would be 5. So our missing side is 5. Now let's do the next one. Well, where is our right angle? Would this be it? No, that's a cube. This one wouldn't be it. This is a cube. But this one is our right angle. The sides touching it would be A and B. So let's do 24 squared plus 7 squared equals c squared. 24 squared is like saying 24 times 24. Let's do 24 times 24. We get 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1 is 9. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 2 is 4. 6. 8 and 8 is 16 plus 1 is 17. Carry the 1. 4 plus 1 is 5. So we get 576. 7 squared is like saying 7 times 7, which is 49. If we add 576 to 49, we get 625. And we need to say what times what would give me 625. Well, let's see. Well, if I was to do the square root of 625, blank times blank equals 625. It has to be the same number. Well, I know 25 times 25 is 625. 25 times 25 is 625, which means C equals 25. So in this case, C equaled 5. In this one, C equals 25. And let's go through one more. We need to find the right angle. This one would be it. That is an acute. This one would be it. That's an acute. But this is our right angle. So 12 would be A. 7 can be B. And then equals C squared. 12 times 12 is 144. Plus 7 times 7, which is 49. If we add these two values together, we get 144 plus 49, which is 193. So, what square root gives us 193? So, we have to think about two values that are closest to this. So, if we do 13 times 13, or this 13 squared is 169. Well, that's too far off. We need a higher number. So what about 14 squared? Well, 14 times 14 is 196. So I know my values between 13 and 14. Well, when I come to find out, 13.9 times 13.9 is about 193. So let's just estimate to 13.9. So C is approximately 13.9. So let's do approximately. So let's try one that's a little different. So we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem to find the missing side length in each right triangle. So I'm going to do the first one, and I'll allow you to do the second two on your own. So we need to find the right angle. The right angle is here. So this can be A, this can be B, and this can be C. Well, we know the Pythagorean theorem says A squared plus B squared equals C squared. We have A, which is 5 squared, plus B squared, we don't have that, and then C squared is 13 squared. Well, 5 times 5 tells us it's 25, plus B squared equals 13 times 13. Well, if we did 13 squared, we get 169. So we have 25 plus B squared equals 169. Well, this is like solving an equation. We're solving for B squared. So we need to isolate the B squared. To do so, we need to subtract or get rid of this positive 25. So we do that by subtracting 25 on both sides. This gets canceled, so we're left with B squared equals 169 minus 25, which gives me a value of 144. So B squared equals 144. Well, to counteract the square, we do square root on both sides. The square root of 144 is 12. So that tells me A equals 12 inches. Or sorry, B equals 12 inches, because we said B. But you could choose A or B. So B equals 12 inches. Try 5 and 6 on your own. So pause the video, try them, and I'll have the answer when you come back. All right, if you tried number 5, you should have got A or B equals 8 yards, depending on how you set up your triangle. And if you did 6, you should have got A equals 17.9 miles. Alrighty, so let's move on. For some of the examples below, it may be helpful to draw a picture. We're going to round to the nearest tenths on all solutions if necessary. So it says a rectangular pool at Andy's gym measures 25 meters by 50 meters. How many meters would Andy need to swim in order to swim diagonally across the pool? So let's draw a picture. So we have a rectangle pool, and it measures 25 meters by 50 meters. So this would be 50 because it's the longer side, and this is 25 because it's shorter. He wants to swim this diagonally. So he wants to swim going that way. So that's like finding the hypotenuse, right? Because that is the side length. This would be 90 degrees, 90 degrees. So let's cross out part of the triangle. Let's not work with this side. We'll just work on this side. So 25 can also be on this side. So we have a right triangle of 50 on one side, 25 on the other. So if we set up a square plus b square equals c square, well, 50 can be our a square, and then 25 can be our b square. Well, 50 times 50 would be 2,500 plus 25 times 25, we already said was 625. We add these two values together, we get a total value of 3,125. So what is the square root of 3,200? Oh, sorry, I wrote that wrong. 3,125. We get a value of about 55.9 meters. The next one says a pole vaulter rested a 17-foot pole against a wall. So here's a wall. Let's say this is the pole. It's 17 feet, right? If the top of the pole hit the wall 14 feet above the ground, so it says the top of the pole hit the wall 14 feet above the ground. Okay, so this would be 14 feet. How far from the wall is the bottom of the pole? So we need to find this value here. So this is like A, this is like B, and this would be like C. So A square plus B square equals C square. Well, A square can be 14 squared plus B square equals 17 squared. So 14 squared is 14 times 14, which is 196, plus B squared, that is the value we're looking for, equals 17 squared, which is 289. Again, we're trying to isolate the b square, so we have to get rid of the positive 196. We do the opposite by subtracting on both sides. So we get b squared equals 289 minus 196. We get a value of 93. We need to look at two values that are closest. Well, I know 9 squared is 81 and 10 squared is 100. So 93 is approximately between 9 and 10. If I come to find out, I get 9.6 feet. So approximately between 9 and 10. For number 9, it says, what is the area of the largest square? Well, we need to find the side length. Remember, area is base times height, or length times width. So we know that A is 36, so A squared plus B squared equals C squared. A squared is 36 squared. This is A, this can be B. B squared is 64. Oh, sorry, no, wrong. All right, now we are solving for number 9. It says, what is the area of the largest square? Well, we are given 3 different areas. We're missing one. Well, remember, area is like saying base times height, or length times width. So the area of the first one, we need to find the side length so we can find A and B, right? So if the area is 36, well, I know 36 is like saying 6 times 6. So the value would be 6 for one side. And then for 64, well, I know 8 times 8 is 64. So one side length would be 8. So A equals 6, B equals 8, or you can say A equals 8, B equals 6. We have A squared plus B squared equals C squared. We said A squared would be 6 squared plus B squared would be 8 squared equals C squared. 6 squared is 36 plus 64 equals C squared. We add 36 plus 64, we get 100. C squared, square root cancels. So C equals square root of 100, which is 10. But it says, what is the area of the largest? So if C is 10, the area would be 100. I want you to try number 12 on your own. You're looking for what is the perimeter of the square of 3. So square 3, remember perimeter is adding all the sides together. So I want you to try that one on your own. Pause this video, try it, and then come back for the answer. So if you did number 10 right, you should have got a value of 12 units. All right, that is all for today. You all have a good one, and I'll see you in the next one.